Welcome back. You got Will and I, man, here from the Block Runner, and today we're going to be talking about what's going on Robinhood.
Again, dude.
Yeah.
We're back to this.
Second video on Robinhood, talking about real-world assets.
Yeah, so the calamity, or not the calamity, the clamoring hasn't really slowed down much, right? So what are we, like week 2 into Robinhood, something like that?
Yeah.
So some of the meme coin energy is kind of slowed down for sure, right? Cashcat trading below 100 million market cap.
Oh, no, it's over.
I guess that's why the cat was so sad.
Yeah.
It knew it was, well, it might not be over. Who knows? It could still rally to 1 billion.
Yeah.
But yeah, the big thing we said in the last video is like, okay, yeah, memes obviously captured the energy. It builds the culture, does a lot of like market signaling. But what comes after, right? And we were like, the things that make sense are things that leverage this killer differentiator that Robinhood has called tokenized stocks, or RWA. So we figured we'd make a video that kind of explores and goes deeper into those new trenches, right? So let's see what's out there.
Yeah, so Vlad, the CEO of Robinhood, he says, if you're a builder looking to embed stock tokens or real-world assets into your applications, we want to hear from you. And so, of course, we got TapScope and Track Network coming in here.
Here we got some Nat
folks.
It's like, hey, it's like, I hear your RWAs. Have you heard of tokenized
security?
Yeah.
For Bitcoin?
Is that an RWA? I feel like maybe it kind of is.
I think it is.
I mean, there's like real-world energy expenditure 100%. That goes into that security.
Yeah, you're tokenized a real-world asset for sure.
There you go, dude. We're in there.
We got to add it to the website now.
We're in the Robinhood trenches officially.
Yeah.
We need to spin up a poll on Robinhood, though. Get Nat on Robinhood trading over there.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so another tweet here says, going to start experimenting with apps on Robinhood chain here. Ideally, they're novel, utilize stock tokens, and not a copy-paste from other chains.
Yeah.
So that's what we look for.
We're not alone, apparently. There's people out there looking for new stuff. Right.
That can only be done on Robinhood Chain, yes.
Yeah, because if you can find those things, then you're on to something. You might have actually identified a gem.
Yeah.
Right?
I would agree.
Yeah. All
right, so another tweet by Hunter here says, I'm going to start highlighting teams doing novel things with stock tokens on Arbitrum, starting with the Index Fi. And here's how it works. People buy their tokens on Index, which is on Uniswap. Each buy and sell charges a 3% tax, which goes into the Treasury V4 hook. That Treasury is deployed into a basket of stocks. Nvidia, Tesla, Apple, SpaceX. Those stocks are then dispersed to wallets holding over 10,000 index every 15 minutes. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's pretty easy, right? Pretty frictionless.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have to like scrape too many neurons together to understand what's happening here.
Yeah.
Which is why you would expect it to perform well, right? And if you look at the chart, it's exactly what it did ever since. So this is one of the tokens that really rallied once that Vlad tweet came out.
Yeah.
Essentially acknowledging that, memes are cool and all, but really the emphasis should be around, RWA and tokenized stocks. So this one is kind of leading that charge because it's simple, right? If you own enough of these tokens in some sort of incremental time period, you'll just randomly receive stonks, right?
Yeah, and then if you could look at what's happening here, people are actually buying, at least 10,000 tokens.
Yeah, because they want it to drip.
Yeah, here's 15,000, 10,000.
I guess if you have more, I'm sure you get more stonks, right?
Right.
Has to be how that works. Or you increase your likelihood of being the recipient. It's kind of like when gacha was blowing up on Solana.
Mm-hmm.
Once people became aware of collector crypt, people started making gacha coins, which is like, here's a coin. From the trading activity of this coin, we're going to purchase cards from collector crypt using their APIs.
Right.
And then just randomly disperse them to holders. So it's like you could just own a token and receive a grail or a slab.
Yeah.
A graded RWA. Right?
Yeah.
So same concept, but applied to stonks this time.
Yeah. So 10,000 tokens is roughly $180.
Yeah. So market cap right now is around.
It was 16 million.
Okay. So kind of high, but also not really. But yeah, it is kind of high. So keep that in mind. It has rallied from sub 1 million territory to basically 20 million in like a week or so. So could be a correction ahead. Who knows?
Yeah. All right. The future of RWA on Robinhood. So I'll read the first section here. The tokenization of real-world assets is no longer a thesis waiting for a home. It has one. And if you are building in the space, you should be building here. Robinhood did not build a general-purpose chain and hope RWA would find it. They built the chain for RWA, and everything else is secondary.
Yeah.
So the thesis here is that because Robinhood exists, they're like the leaders here in RWA.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of hard to really grasp the significance of that, I guess, unless you, I don't know, you got to understand a lot of things, right? Like the full scope and scale of the real world,
Yeah,
and the asset base that exists there.
Yeah.
For a lot of us crypto degens, we don't even, for some reason, that doesn't compute to our brains, right? Because we're like digital natives,
yeah,
crypto native. We only think about things as like, what is the meme coin value market cap? What is the NFT market cap? And like, that's it. Everything else is noise.
yeah.
Right. But when you actually put the two side by side, it's like crypto is this.
It's like
RWA
pixel.
is like the universe.
Yeah, yeah,
So there's like so much capital in real world assets. And if there's like a migrationing happening, and like this is the chain that's going to for sure be the major facilitator for that, there is a pretty big opportunity here, I would say.
Yeah.
Right. And so, yeah, Index agrees. So, yeah, how do you get started to kind of like position yourself?
Yeah, so here's one. It says if you're a builder looking to embed stock tokens into your platform or other trading of stocks, Rialto's Swap API gives an integrator direct access to deep liquidity on chain. The Swap API already powers Arcus, the IndexFi, and LiFi protocol.
Yeah, so this is, if you're wondering where Index is getting their stonks from, like it's coming from these guys, right? So think of them as like the collector crypt of tokenized equities, right? It's like collector crypt does all the vaulting of physical cards, and then they provide the infrastructure for others to tap into that.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they're doing similar functionalities, but for stonks, right? So
Okay.
So that's important because they don't have a token yet. Right?
Oh, wow. Okay, so here's another article about Rialto. So today we're coming out of stealth to announce Rialto Capital Markets Rebuilt on-chain. It says, for the past year, we've been building a new on-chain spot exchange, a prop automated market maker-driven venue for the convergence of crypto and traditional finance. Working closely alongside Robinhood Crypt, Off-Chain, and Arbitrum, Rialto will offer one of the deepest on-chain venues to trade spot crypto, equities, ETFs, commodities, pre-IPOs, and every asset in between.
So that's pretty interesting. So they're definitely not alone in this, right? There's platforms on Solana,
Yeah.
a lot of chains that are trying to like, again, dig into these same waters, but I don't know, because this is like native to Robinhood, I think it says something, right? And there's already like people tapping in as that is being a main infrastructure provider. So
Right.
I don't know. It's a possible safe assumption that, you know, because it doesn't have a token, it may have one in the future. In the same way, like, you know, using Hyperliquid in the early days of perps was probably an advisable thing to do, right? If you were interested in perps, it's like use the platform that's offering that.
Yeah, they got like people using Hyperliquid got like 100K airdrop.
Like base.
Yeah.
Some users, like power users who are generating a lot of volume on that exchange, millions of dollars worth of airdrop allocation. So could repeat here. You could just use their swap interface to, you know, get your Tesla, SpaceX. I heard SpaceX is down pretty bad.
Yeah, it's below IPO.
How did that happen?
I don't know. Maybe a little overvalued, perhaps.
That's it. So like it was a 2x for
Yeah.
SpaceX. That was the extent of bullishness for humanity going to space.
You just got to wait for a 10x in like 20 years.
No way, dude. There's no way that was the top. That would be so underwhelming, so disappointing. But yeah, we'll see. If you wanted to speculate, maybe you should do it here in case.
Yeah, well, now's the time to buy it below IPO.
Yeah.
All right, so here's Rialto's platform. So this is a place to engage here. But the next one is Fletch. It says trade the dividend, keep the stock.
Yeah, so this one is interesting because it's conceptually it seems pretty important, right? So we're going to try our best to walk through what it is and why it's important.
Yeah, so I'll read it here. It says, Fletch splits any stock into two tokens. You can trade separately. One follows the stock price. The other follows only the dividends, which now have a live price on their own.
Yeah, so if you don't understand what a dividend is, it's like when you own a stock, companies have the option to basically share revenues.
Yeah, pay you a share of the revenue.
Yeah, and I think typically industry standard is like 1%. So if you do the math of like the total value of like equities, it's in the $150 trillion range.
Mm-hmm.
So 1% of that is 1.5 trillion.
Right.
But some companies can offer way more than 1%, right? Some can go as high as like 6 to 10%. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it's dynamic, but nonetheless, it's a massive market. And it's a massive appeal to why equities are like, an asset class to be invested in, right?
Right. So Fletch has a token and currently 675,000 market cap.
Right. So everything looks cool. And again, if you look through the mechanics of it, it's similar to another project in crypto, specifically in DeFi called Pendle, where you just take one token, you split it into two. One represents like the principal value of the token. The other represents like the yield component of the asset. Now you can have two markets around the two tokens, right? So it's like that works for crypto because a lot of tokens have built-in yield, whether it's like staking yield, whatever, right? So like split them into, and now they become individually composable into different DeFi derivative apps, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it did well. Let's take a look at the market cap.
Yeah, so right now the market cap is fully diluted 446 million, but it went as high as $1 billion.
Yeah, 3 times.
3 times, yeah.
I've never seen what is that? What kind of pattern is that, dude? Is that a Head and Shoulders? I don't know. I don't do TA.
Yeah, I don't know, but man, there's a resistance point, but it could come back.
Yeah, right. But
the point is that we're looking at an equivalent platform focused on stocks and splitting dividends,
right?
Sitting at 600,000.
Yeah, and obviously totally new. This is like a couple days old, and there's major red flags in like it's an undoxed team.
Mm-hmm.
There's not too much communication coming from the team itself, and I think it's like a product in testnet, right? So I wouldn't put all the eggs in this basket, at least not yet.
I agree.
Even though conceptually it seems like an immaculate idea, right? If there's $1.5 trillion worth of like dividend value that you can now bring on chain through like a protocol like this, so it seems like right up the alley of what Vlad would like to be seeing on his chain, right?
Yeah, I agree.
If you're the CEO of Robinhood and you found this project, what would you do?
I would look into it for sure.
And then what? What if you looked into it and you're like, dude, this is spicy?
It's like, who are you, dude? Show yourself.
You would reach out first, right?
Yeah.
Show yourself.
Yeah.
And then what? He turns on the webcam and it's like, all right, it's a human.
It's like put a spoon on your nose. Make sure you're not to fake the AI, like.
It's like, all right, now I confirm that they're human beings.
Yeah.
And like, show me your product, right?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, here it is. Here's the code. It works. And then what? All right, all the lights are checked.
Yeah.
Make the tweet, right? It's like,
yeah,
this is a big product on Robinhood or something. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the bet you're making is like, hopefully for a project like this, or maybe others, maybe there are others out there we haven't seen yet. This will catch the eyes of the foundation of Robinhood. Right?
Yeah, yeah. So that was Fletch. There's another project called Fletcher, and it's dealing with gacha. And so what's interesting here is that Fletcher converts existing NFTs that are on Solana for Pokemon cards and mirrors those NFTs, but on Robinhood.
Yeah. So again, another popular trend on Solana basically being brought to Robinhood pretty seamlessly, it seems. So it has the same collector crypt plugins that every other gacha, token.
Yeah, there's a starter pack, which is $25, Elite, $50, and it goes up all the way to Mythic, which is $2,500.
Yeah, so I feel like gacha this cycle is kind of like taking place of NFTs in a sense.
Yeah.
It's like NFTs were kind of around during like the 2020 bear market / getting into the 2021 bull market is like the thing adjacent to crypto and like DeFi as like all that was exploding, like DeFi. NFTs was like the thing that kind of like, I don't know, park some of your winnings into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like speculate on that. Like the money you were making from DeFi protocols and new yield, just park it into NFT collections that you liked. And that you probably did very well back in those days if you took that approach.
Yeah, yeah.
feels like gacha is like that. It's like take that new money you're gonna make from RWAs exploding
and gamble.
Gotcha, dude.
Yeah.
Have a good gotcha time, and then maybe you'll acquire some Grail RWAs through these mechanisms, right?
All right. So Fletcher, this is the lane. Fletcher's already turning real graded collectible into usable on-chain assets on Robinhood. Rip them, trade them, sell them back, or let agents interact with them. So RWA gets interesting when it becomes liquid and programmable. And they cite virtuals here.
Yeah, this is a virtuals launched thing. So there's AI agent involvement in it all too, right? So covers different surface areas, but I think the most important one is the gotcha, because there isn't a representative of this, I guess, phenomena on Robinhood yet. So they may have first mover advantage here. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, here's Fletcher documentation as well. And Fletcher's sitting at 300,000 market cap.
Yeah, pretty low. Yeah, so the thing to observe in those docs is like how they are, essentially converting Solana NFTs to Robinhood NFTs.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's all the same physical product, right?
Yeah, and it's just locking up their smart the NFTs from Solana, locking into a smart contract that emits a new NFT on Robinhood.
Yeah, so it's all explained there, but that is a little bit of like the novelty, I guess, of like, bringing some of the RWA value from Solana to Robinhood. That's not necessarily equities, right?
Yeah. All right. Finally, we got Tendies.
Yeah. Wow. So this is not an RWA. Well, maybe it is. Chicken tenders. Those are real.
Yeah.
But I figured if we're going to make a Robinhood, like, what's interesting out there, we got to make a meme pick, I think.
Yeah.
There's an abundance of them. You got, what is it?
Cashcat.
Cashcat. There's others out there called like Hood Rat.
Yeah.
There's the Juggernaut.
Yeah, it feels like these are all random.
Yeah.
This one's a little bit less random because
there's like a origin to it. Like if you've been around in Reddit circles or 4chan circles, you've heard this before.
Back in the GameStop days.
Yeah, everybody was referring to their gains as tendies back in those days.
Yeah.
So it's like, assuming this Robinhood chain experiment really takes off, and I think the successful milestone is a true conversion of like Robinhood users, retail users, into crypto users.
Yeah.
Which they have tens of millions of those actively using their apps every day.
Yeah.
To trade equities. It's like the vision is them doing that on chain, specifically on Robinhood's chain. So
yeah,
if that happens, they're gonna appreciate a meme like this that really represents the culture of Robinhood, right?
So right now it's sitting at 15 million, and it was sitting around 2 million not too long ago, 2 days ago.
So just like index, probably a correction coming ahead. Who knows? Again, because I don't think retail is like here yet on chain.
No, yeah.
So you're really making a bet on Robinhood and like pulling off so far what seems today like the impossible, right? There's nothing that's going to bring retail back, right, guys?
Yeah.
After they've been massacred by memes on Solana.
Right.
Well, maybe they will.
All right, so this guy here says, I believe Tendies has a chance to become one of the main memes on Robinhood Chain. The lore existed long before the token. Started as a 4chan meme around 2016. Wall Street bets turned Tendies into profits from trade. Became part of the culture that put Robinhood on the map, and everyone likes Tendies, especially with honey mustard.
Actually, that doesn't sound good to me at all. Honey mustard? I mean, I like mustard on my hamburgers, but I don't know if I would dip a chicken tender into mustard. But that's just me. I'm more of a ketchup kind of guy.
Yeah, I think honey mustard is pretty commonly liked.
I'm sure it is. It's not my vibe. You feel me?
Yeah. All right, so Robinhood was the original online casino where retail traders went searching for Tendies. Now it has its own chain, and people are searching for Tendies again. It feels native in a way that most memes can't manufacture. Bought a good amount, between 12 million and 14 million. My targets are hopefully higher. We'll play it by ear, but feel good about this one. Saw it at 2 million, but hesitated.
Yeah, that's about all you could do when you're speculating on memes, right? Like, I like this tweet because it really walks through the mental juggling that it takes to kind of like make a position on a meme, right? It's like you got to reference something, at least notable, and there is like a historical notability to this meme.
Yeah, what you're relying on is people looking for at least some substance in a meme.
Yeah.
And the only substance you could find in a meme is like historical reference.
Right.
And then this is about as historical as it gets.
I think so, because I think memes they do serve a purpose, right? Even though Vlad wants his chain to be more taken seriously, right? Like I think his proper vision is like seeing a significant chunk of equities market activity happening on his chain.
Yeah.
Like that's his real focus. But still, memes will find their place alongside that too.
Yeah.
And then yeah, most likely the ones that truly represent the culture of that gotta have some like really deep lore. And I think Tendies matches that profile.
Yeah. Yeah.
More than anything else we've seen. So that's it. That's our meme pick.
Yeah.
Unlikely we'll find another. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that has been Robinhood Chain and real world assets. Let us know if you're participating in the Robinhood Mania. Let us know what your picks are in the comment section below. I appreciate you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.